When that foreclosure notice shows up, it hits your stomach. It's not just paperwork, it's stress, it's uncertainty, it's that quiet panic that starts running in the back of your mind. How did this happen? How much time do I have? What am I supposed to do now? And almost immediately, the phone calls start. The letters, the texts, the we buy houses for cash, stop foreclosure fast, close in 7 days. And at that moment, sometimes that feels like your only option. But here's what most homeowners don't realize. That notice does not mean you're out of options. It means the clock just started. Foreclosures in California is a legal process. It follows a timeline. And inside that timeline, there's leverage. The problem is, when you feel pressure, you make decisions from fear instead of strategy. And that's when people lose equity they didn't have to lose. Let me explain what is really happening. In California, once a notice of default is recorded, there's typically a waiting period before a trustee sale can happen. That means you often have months, not days. But most homeowners don't know that. So an investor shows up and says, I can close in 7 days. It sounds like relief. And here's what they don't explain. Most of these cash buyers are not actually the end buyers. They're wholesalers. They try to lock up your property at 60 to 70% of market value, then assign the contract to a real investor for a profit. And if they can't find someone to buy that contract, they cancel. And now you've lost valuable time. That's the dangerous part, because time equals leverage, and leverage equals equity. I've sat across the table from homeowners here in Orange County who thought foreclosure meant they had to give their house away. But when we actually ran the numbers, they had hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity. Equity they're about to sign away because they felt overwhelmed. One homeowner I worked with had already spoken to multiple investors. The highest offer they received was dramatically below the value. She felt stuck, she felt embarrassed, she just wanted it over with. Instead of panic selling, we slowed everything down. We mapped out the timeline, we confirmed the payoff amount, we looked at the actual comparable sales, not just investor math. Then we built a strategy that created competition, not desperation. And she walked away with substantially more than any cash offer she had received. Investors buy based on margin. The open market buys based on emotion, demand, and competition. And in Orange County, demand is real. Now let me be clear, listing blindly is not always the answer either. This isn't about cash buyer bad, listing good. It's about strategy. If you're facing foreclosure, you need to know this. How much time do you truly have? What's your reinstatement amount? What's your full payoff? How much equity is actually there? What selling approach fits your timeline? How much time do you truly have? What's your reinstatement amount? What's your full payoff? How much equity is actually there? What selling approach fits your timeline? Sometimes that means listing on the open market. Sometimes that means finding a direct and end buyer quietly. Sometimes that means negotiating with a lender. But the key is this, you need options. Foreclosure affects your credit for years. Selling before the auction, that's a completely different outcome. Ignoring it is what removes options. Waiting a week before the auction is what forces desperation pricing. Acting early is what preserves leverage. If you're in Orange County and you've received a notice of default or you're behind on payments, don't wait for that panic to make that decision for you. You need a plan. When I sit down with homeowners in this position, we start with clarity. No pressure, no lowball offers, no sign today tactics. We go over the timelines, we go over the numbers, we go over your goals. Do you want to maximize your equity, protect your credit, move quickly and still control the outcome, avoid endless showings? There are more ways to structure this than most people never heard of because fear sells faster than education. And I refuse to let someone lose hundreds of thousands of dollars just because they felt rushed. If this is you or someone you know, right below this video there's a link. Fill out the form, schedule a short private strategy call with me. We'll map out your timeline, we will look at your equity, and we will decide the smartest move. Foreclosure doesn't have to define you. How you respond right now determines the outcome. My name is Jason Villani, and if you found this helpful, please subscribe. I talk about equity protection, distressed property strategy, and how homeowners can avoid losing money to aggressive investors. And if you're feeling that pressure, reach out directly. You should still have options. Let's make sure you keep it that way.